Thanks for checking out my micro drawings channel. Today I'm drawing Hobbes delivering a good lick to Kelvin. It's looking like football season. So wanted to get started here with my pencil, quarter, and that's my Copic Multiliner 0.03 that I'll be using. It's the black pen that gives my drawing its shape first, and then I go on to the Copic sketch markers to give some color to it. I will put a link in the description that gives the website showing some of my work if you are looking to purchase. I just draw these and that's it. And you know, it's my interpretation of the original creators, and I'm not making prints of them or anything like that. I'm just selling the original drawing that I've done. So in this case, if you're interested, link in the description. We'll show you this picture, and if you want it, you fill out the contact form and let me know. So usually I start a micro drawing with facial features. In this case, there aren't any because of the angle of the shot and of Hobbes tackling Kelvin. So instead I used that line, that arcing line of his back from his elbow on the left to his tip of his tail on the right as my anchor line. And from there I added the details, added the bottom pads of his back feet, added the elbows of his front, wrapped around Kelvin's stocking feet. And later on you'll see that the reason why they're stocking feet is because his shoes, of course, flew off when Hobbes hit him. So, and I just continue to go here. These are Kelvin's little hands sticking up above Hobbes's back. And those little arms are pretty darn skinny. You know, these drawings are small enough, but then you start getting into the digits or the fingers and it gets a little tough. So, and what I've done here is I've left the stripes off as far as like Hobbes's body. I'll add those after I add the sketch markers, the orange color. So right now I'm just adding these little stars and circles and giving that illusion of a big hit happening, and I'll get the football added in here as well. So just trying to make these little stars without having them get too blobbed up. I should look and see if I can find a smaller pen, because this one seems big when I'm doing this really tiny stuff. But I think it's looking okay here. And just gently trying to put those little stars in there. And then I'll get to the sketch markers, and I'll show you with those. There's a broad chisel end, and there's a fine tip end. There's the quarter covering it up. So I don't use the broad chisel end here. I use the fine tip, and sometimes I have to rotate the paper so that I can just barely get that in there. And you know, I'm using a smooth 100-weight paper that doesn't really allow much for bleeding, and trying to do the best I can to just barely tip the ink there. I've found out sometimes the nibs, and they're called the tips of the markers. I know there's one for sure I should probably replace because it seems like it's letting too much ink through. So it's interesting when you're doing such a tiny area, you really notice if there's a little bit more ink that falls out or passes through than normal, because then it goes past the line. So there I put the red of his shirt and the cotton pearl of his skin. I'm showing the colors each time in case you want to try to replicate with your own Copic sketch markers. There's that chrome orange for Hobbes's body. And for that tail, I'm going to have to rotate it here so I can just draw it, or pull that little point right along the tail. And like I said, later on I'll come back with the lines. Some of his lines are a little thicker, they're like a tiger, so they're not a perfect stripe. Some are thicker, some are thinner, some come to a point or sharpen to a point, the black line itself. So there's more ink there. So if I would have done that first and left even a microscopic little puddle before I took the orange to it, it could have possibly bled together or mixed that black with the orange. Once they're dry, that won't happen. This Copic Multiliner pen is supposed to be smudge proof, basically. So I just play it safe, and after the fact come in and add the stripes like this. And again, just lightly going in there. Sometimes I'm, making it a little thicker, so there's a little variation in the stripes. But if you've watched to this point, thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed or shared, please do so. And like I mentioned earlier, there is a link in the description for my website as well. And it's microdrawings.godaddysite.com. And there's gray. Just going to color in the little circles, planets, moons with that. And then I'll come back with the yellow for the stars. And there's that yellow. And just touching them. Can't hardly do much more than that than get them in the center and push to the little outside corners a little bit. So almost done here. I'll put on today's date, August 15th of 2021, and show you the quarter again for scale. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.